Hi, everyone. My name is Mike McDonald, and I am the president of Kidventure Camps. Happy Wednesday to everybody. It's March. I can't believe where time goes. It seems like yesterday it was only January. We're preparing for registration, and now we're deep into spring and heading in towards the summer season. And this is one of our series of live streams that we do during the springtime to help educate you to our specific programs. And this one specifically is going to be about our LEADS program, which is summer day camp for our teens entering 6th grade through 9th grade. Now, I don't claim to be the expert on LEADS, but I did bring with me an expert to talk about LEADS with us today. I'd like to introduce Neda Galan. She's out of our Houston office. And Neda, tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with the LEADS program, and give us an idea of what you think about that LEADS program.
So my name is Nina Galan. I'm the Houston Camp Coordinator here. I actually started off as a lead counselor with our middle school group, and really, truly is one of my favorite programs. I think it's the last chance we get to put an impact on these campers before they're too cool to come to camp. So that's my favorite part about it. It's we're the last impression, and they come through our doors in those middle school years that um, they want to learn and they want to be like us. So that's my favorite. A little bit about the leads and my background.
Yeah, I think I can't stress enough the importance of LEADS, really. And if you think about it, I mean, we run Discovers, early childhood camp, threes, fours, and fives. We run Explorers, school age, elementary school age kids. I don't know about you, but that age group, that entering 6th or entering 9th grade, is such a crossroads for kids. And I think of all of our camp programs, that's probably the camp program that's probably needed and benefits our kids the most, just because it's such an influential time of their life, right? Um, they're making a lot of decisions. They're growing from being a child to being a young adult. And, you know, what we provide them during that time, especially in the summer when they have so much opportunity to do stuff on their own and be independent, I think is crucial to the direction that and the trajectory for those kids. And we're very conscious of that, I would say, in that program. I mean, we didn't always run leads. Leads was kind of an outgrowth of the Explorer program. A lot of kids didn't want to stop coming to camp, and so we created leads. But over the years, it's really become a very targeted and important program for instilling good, strong values, creating opportunities for kids to experience leadership and team building opportunities, and at that age, man, you want to be liked by your friends, right? And it gives our kids a chance to be liked in person and not on social media. It gives our kids a chance to be validated for who they are and the uniqueness of themselves in a very comfortable and fun and exciting atmosphere. And I just love it. I love that part of that program. Yes, they're getting way too cool, right? And that's part of it. But it's such a neat experience. I'm so glad that we run the Leads program. So today we're going to talk specifically just about the Leads program. We're going to cover a lot of things, and let's look at that agenda for a moment and kind of go over what we're talking about here. So we're going to start off with a video, which I think sort of sets the tone for what we're going to be talking about. It also really sheds a lot of light on our philosophy, who we are, and our value system, and what we try to bring to camp and the outcomes. Then we'll talk about the basics of leads, the timing of leads, the weekly session, those kind of things like that. We'll dive into a little bit more of our philosophy and goals. What are we trying to accomplish in the leads program other than just having a fun, safe time? We'll talk a little bit about the camp day, what that looks like. We'll go into specifically what our kids are doing, what activities they're doing at camp. That would be the curriculum. And we'll touch a little bit on how they come to camp, and we'll finish with a little bit about that Leads camp team, which I know you are intimately aware of, and love your insight there. And then a Q&A. So if you happen to have questions, that'll be a great opportunity. I would urge you, as you think of a question, to put that into the comment section. I know that we were having a little trouble with the Facebook. This is being streamed on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. I think we might be having a little trouble on the Facebook page. If that's the case, we've posted on Facebook to send you over to YouTube, our channel there, so you can watch this video. And of course, we're recording this, so we will post it live on the website and also to the Facebook channel as well. So there we go. All right. Um, so with that, let's turn our attention to the video.
Has been helping shape the lives of kids through the power of camp.
And provide each kid a safe, caring environment where they can grow happy and strong. Respect. Friendship. Kindness.
One of our most important goals is to teach a child that nothing in life is impossible. Courage. Confidence. Leadership.
The real power of camp isn't what takes place at camp. It's what kids take away from camp that matters. Honesty. Gratitude. Grit. And imagination. This is what we teach at Kidventure.
We invite you to be part of Kidventure's 30th year of summer camp.
Spaces are limited, so register today.
There you go. I never get old. It never gets old watching that, by the way, Nada. I love that video. And I think the biggest takeaway from that video, and I think we'll talk about this in our philosophy too, is really that camp is just this really powerful platform, right? With which to teach and instill in our kids these tenets, right? These values, like courage and honesty and grit and gratitude, all those things. We do that. In fact, we break those down by week, right? And we really instill those into our kids, and not just talk about it, but model it. I mean, I think the most important part of helping kids grow and be happy and healthy is to model that what we're trying to teach, right? And that really comes down to our counselors, our directors, our staff, our camp staff, which is just amazing. So, all right, so let's talk about the LEADS program. It is a weekly program. It takes place Monday through Friday, with the exception of any holidays like 4th of July or Juneteenth in the summertime. So think about it as a Monday through Friday program. It's a full day program, basically from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And it is for kids entering 6th in the fall or entering 9th in the fall, right? That's essentially middle school. We have a 1-to-10 ratio, one counselor per every 10 kids, no more than that. And that doesn't include any assistants or director in that program as well. We believe that having those smaller ratios gives us a better opportunity, one, at providing a safe program, and two, providing the opportunity to reach these kids and make a big impact, right? Everything is age appropriate and scaled. So what our entering ninth graders are doing isn't always what our entering 6th graders are doing. And so we typically try to divide those kids up by age and scale programs where we need to scale them. Where we don't need to scale them, that's totally appropriate too as well. They're assigned their counselor each week. That counselor stays with them for the week. That's a big part of camp, right? That's that special relationship, that bond between a camper and a counselor that we have. And we do combine with other groups when we're on a field trip or we're going to lunch or something like that. Anything to add to that, Nada?
I really want to stress the counselor part. A lot of those leads, they need a trusting relationship, and in order to feel comfortable and feel safe to take risk. And so, having the same counselor, the same faces every week is something that we really do try to implement at that specific program for that same reason, because they need that sense of belonging, that need to have people there consistently.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, Nada. And I think even more than maybe even our early childhood and school age programs, friendship just takes on a whole new factor with the Leads program. I mean, everybody wants a friend, right? And I think that understanding that and fostering that and creating opportunities for friendships in real time with real people, not on a screen, is so important for that Leads program. And those
Mhm.
counselors are so good at creating that, right? So I
Mhm.
think we take that for granted as an adult, right? You know what I mean? If someone dropped me off at somebody's house for a party, I didn't know anybody, and I went up to the door, it'd be kind of an awkward situation. You know what I mean? I'd get in there and start introducing myself, but man, we're talking about kids that are entering 6th through 9th grade. So those counselors are just catalysts for introducing those kids and creating friendships. So great point. Great point. Let's talk about that philosophy. I mean, I think first and foremost, safety is the first thing that we address at camp. We want to provide a comfortable, safe atmosphere where your teen feels good about coming there, right? If we don't establish that first as a foundation for what we do, it's really hard for everything else to sort of fall into place. And that comes a lot of different ways. The types of facilities that we utilize, the check-in and check-out processes that we have for camp, um, creating a really honest, transparent, open atmosphere where those kids feel good about asking questions and they understand expectations for camp. I think all of that is involved in creating a safe place for those kids. The second is, we want to create a purposeful and intentional camp program. It's one thing just to have fun at camp in the moment, but it's another thing to design camp to be purposeful and intentional, right? Why are we doing the things we're doing? And what is it we're trying to achieve with that? And that really, I mean, goes back to the curriculum. Talk to us a little bit, Nada, about how we design our curriculum with those specific intentions and purpose and outcomes.
Yeah, I think kind of tagging along with the safety piece and purpose and intention, it really is the opportunity for them to feel safe to take risk, right? We're there to provide the facility, the conversations, but it also, our curriculum and like anything we do, it really encourages independence and personal growth, trying
Mm,
something new, taking risk. Maybe not everybody likes crocheting, but it becomes your new thing because everybody's doing it there. You might not like basketball, but we're all going to play basketball, even though we're 4'10" and we can't reach the goal. But we're going to try, and it's a good place to feel safe, and it's
yeah,
okay to take risk, and it's okay to feel silly doing something.
for sure.
So I think that's the good part of our leads program.
Right. I think we talked about it in the video that you viewed a second ago. It's the power of camp isn't what takes place in camp. The real power of camp takes place outside of camp, right? What does that kid take with them when they leave? Do they have a greater sense of self-esteem and self-worth? Do they feel more confident because of the friendships that they created and fostered in camp? That's really what camp is all about, and kids aren't going to go to camp all year long, right? They're going to go to camp 1 or 2 weeks or maybe a little bit more during the summer, but we want that opportunity to be impactful. And what is it they take with them outside of camp? I think is probably the thing that we're very plugged into. We obviously want to teach and model character. Character is a big part of Kidventure, has been for 30 years. You know, um, it's just, when you have great character traits and you're solid and you're a confident person and you understand what gratitude means and you value people and you're kind, it's a skill set that will take our kids so far in life. I think we underestimate the value of that character, or having strong character, but we certainly spend a lot of time with it in camp. And lastly, and certainly not least, camp's fun. I mean, if it's not fun, it's not active. If we're not moving and doing things, engaging, then what are we doing it for? So for sure, camp is an exciting thing. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here, when we go through curriculum. All right, so here's kind of a I guess a bare bones kind of agenda for the day. This doesn't list any specific curriculum activities, but it's going to kind of show you. And this might vary a little bit by site when it comes to drop off, but think of it like this, okay? Drop off being at like 7:45, camp starting at 8. At 8:30, we have some opening ceremonies. That's when we bring everybody together. We sort of do some energizers. We get everybody plugged into the day, focused on what we're doing, go over expectations, maybe do some silly skits or something like that. Maybe the kids are in charge of it one week. And then in the morning time, we'll have rotations. Think of it before lunch. They'll go to a variety of different things. They might go to rock climbing. They might do team building or work on one of their community service projects. Then lunch is around lunchtime. Kids bring a lunch or they can order off the lunch menu. And then we have sort of a after lunch, we get back together, we rally up again, we talk about the rest of the day, what we're going to be doing. Um, we don't have chill time, that shouldn't be in there. But then we have afternoon rotations, closing ceremonies. We always wrap up at the end of the day. We talk about our day, we go over what happened. Maybe we're doing apples and onions, those kind of things like that. And then it's departure for home at 3 o'clock. Or if you're staying in post camp, then you're staying there until whenever you get picked up as late as 6 o'clock.
Hmm.
And that kind of gives you an idea of the day. Now, what we do within that day really varies, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. I'm going to turn it over to you, Nada, and you can kind of talk to us about the Leads curriculum and the activities and what all we do.
Yeah. So the LEADS curriculum, it's really broken down into several components, right? One of them is sports. So at a LEADS site, we'll have like sport of the week. It can be a variety of things. So one sport of the week can be basketball, volleyball, and it's not to make them professional volleyball players, right? But it's to get them moving, getting all of us moving, get to know the sport. They might like it at the end of camp. And they might go home and saying, I want to be I want to try out for the volleyball team. It just really encourages that. And then community service. So community service is a big piece for our LEADS program. All of our LEADS program do community service at least once a week. And the projects vary. It's nothing specific. A good example is last year we did Father Days cards for a nursing home, for people that were in the nursing home that didn't have families that would come and visit them. And then I would pick up Father's Day cards and I would just take them to the nursing home. But I think the purpose of a community service is really to build confidence, self esteem, try something new that they haven't tried before.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then our
I love that. And let me jump in right there, Nada. I just really love that piece of that too, because I think also beyond the confidence thing, which gosh, I mean, confidence is a struggle when you're in middle school, right? I mean, it's like a
Mhm.
struggle every day. But giving kids an opportunity to contribute to something bigger than themselves, whether that's at the food bank or whether that's at an assisted living community or all the many community service projects that our kids are involved in, God, that's so powerful for them to make a difference in the lives of other people, and I just love that part of it. So, okay.
Mhm. So Leeds don't have chill time. They wish they did, but we do have a Leeds lounge. It's very much area where we make it very comfortable. We have big joeys, we have ping pong tables, board games, create art projects there. And it just gives them a time to do free express as they wish. There's no specific structure. We have counselors just monitoring, playing, but it gives them a chance to really talk to one another, talk about what they did during the day. What are they doing at home? Things like that. So that's their version of chill time.
Mm.
And then we have field trips once a week. And that varies for them every week. Last year we did Typhoon, Texas. They can go to trampoline park. It just varies. They also do archery tag. Archery tags is way more intense with our leads. They play dodgeball versions of archery tag. They try to take us all out. And it's just so much fun because they really get into it. The more our team gets into it, they get for our leads. A lot of the time, communication's a struggle. They don't want to talk to each other. So when they're doing a team building activity, they really have to talk to another as we're guiding them through the project. So that's basically the leads.
Great. Thank you very much for that insight. I
Mhm.
appreciate that very much. Um, let's talk a little about what to wear, what to pack when you come to camp. I mean, camp is camp, right? It's comfortable athletic wear. Uh, Kids wear their Leads camp shirt. We have a specific shirt for them we want them to wear each day. We do that for a couple of reasons. The first is security and safety. We want to know exactly who our kids are, whether we're on campus or off campus. And then there's pride wrapped up in that too as well. We're a team, we're a camp team. So those Leads camp shirts can be purchased during the registration process, or you can go back on there and get those. Tennis shoes, please. No sandals, Crocs, or flip flops. Lunch, they obviously need a lunch. They can either bring a lunch or order from the camp lunch program, which is wonderful, by the way. We ask them to bring a water bottle, a filled water bottle, have them hydrate before they come to camp, not after they come to camp, but also have them bring a filled water bottle because we're drinking a lot of water. It's warm in the summertime, and staying hydrated is super important for us. Sunscreen, particularly depending on what we're doing or if there's a field trip, you know what I mean? We want them to be able to apply sunscreen before they come to camp, bring some of that in their backpack. And all that stuff just sort of goes in a backpack or a bag that they can keep all their stuff together and label everything. I cannot tell you how much stuff we have at the end of the summer that we have no idea who it goes to. But so labeling things certainly helps us and helps them keep track of their stuff. Anything to add to that, Nada?
No, so our leads, they're big kids, so they know to keep track of things, but always having a backpack with them is beneficial for them as well. Their sunscreen, water bottle, whatever they need throughout the day, it's good to have.
Great. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
All right, let's talk about communication for a little bit. How do we communicate with you, the parent? How do we communicate with our campers during the summertime? Really, there's three main ways that we do that. I mean, obviously, right now when we're out of season, you can call the office, you can email, and you can do that too as well during the summertime. But once we're into the summer, we have three distinct ways to keep you abreast of everything that's going on in your child's program. The first is the Kidventure app, which can be downloaded from the Apple Store or Google Play. It is called the Kidventure app. And it does a variety of things. One of those is it allows us to send push notifications to you. Inclement weather, don't forget we're going on a field trip tomorrow. Make sure you're there by 9, no later than 9. Very helpful in communicating those kind of things to you. We also take pictures at camp, so it's a place for you to keep up with us at camp on all of our adventures. You'll be able to see pictures on the app that you can access. And then you can register from the app too as well. So everything can kind of sort of be done inside of that app. The next form of communication would be our camp newsletter. So for every week that you're attending camp, on the Thursday before that week starts, you are going to be emailed a link to your newsletter. It's a mobile-ready newsletter, and it will talk about your child's camp week. When are their field trips? What is the community service project? What are the hours? How do you get to camp? A map on there. Everything that you would need to be successful in coming to camp and doing camp for that week is all going to be contained in that newsletter. So there's one newsletter for every week of camp. So they are unique in that sense. So look out for those. And then lastly, every one of our parents is assigned what we call a customer service rep. And that customer service rep's job is to help communicate with you, help solve problems, help you with registration, make sure that you have everything that you need, and make sure that we have everything that we need, like immunization records or whatever it might be, in order so that we can be successful on our end and you can be successful on your end. That customer service rep is on the newsletter. That contact information is there too. So that's the person that we ask you to reach out to because she knows specifically about your camp, the ins and outs of that, and can help you wherever and whenever you need that help. Of course, always call us, email us. One of the things that we take a lot of pride in at Kidventure is the level of customer service that we provide our families. I know that that's hard to get at a lot of places, but we're talking about kids and families here. And I think if we're going to provide customer service and try to exceed those expectations, we should do it for our families and our kids just before about anything else. So, all right. So that is communication. I will say something about registration too as well. So if you've not registered for camp, now is the time to do that. We always see a big giant push in our registrations after spring break. Something happens in the brain of a parent that switches to summer after spring break. There's this line of demarcation there, and parents start freaking out about camp. So you're okay right now. Our Leads program has space, so you're fine. But I would not wait too long to do that. You can always add weeks as long as you want to add weeks and as long as we have space for those weeks. If a camp week is full, you simply go automatically, if you choose, on a wait list, and then it will pull you off of that wait list automatically, notify you if you want to accept that spot once one becomes available. A deposit is all you need now for registering for camp. So you don't actually need to pay for the full week of camp. You can do that as the summer goes along. But final balance is going to be due 10 days prior to each week attending. Did I miss anything, Nada?
No, I think you
Okay,
got it.
thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's talk about one of the most important parts of the camp program, and that's your camp team. Nada did a great job sort of talking about that earlier and the influence on our kids. I think really particularly for this age kid. Um, um, Nate, I'm gonna turn it over to you. Just kind of
Yeah.
paint the picture of what our staff, our counselors and directors are like.
So as a lead counselor, these are usually typically we try to aim for teachers, right? Especially teachers in the middle school area. There is young people that come and join, but really because we understand that middle school is a sensitive age um, for them, and so we need to be able to have the camp team be able to facilitate and provide safety. After all. Because a lot of our leads typically want to talk and want to have conversations, so we need the right people on that team. And so we're very particular about the kind of people we bring onto our leads team in order to embody a safe environment for them.
Yeah, they tend to be high energy people too, right? I mean,
Yes.
a lot of like teachers, education students, coaches, they love working with that age group too as well. And I cannot emphasize enough the importance of your child's camp counselors and camp directors, just because they make that experience so great. And if you ask
Mhm.
one of our kids after the summer's over what they remember most about camp, it's typically not rock climbing or the field trip to Typhoon, Texas. They'll name their counselor, right? They'll name that person that just was such a great influence on them. Kids remember their camp counselors for the rest of their life too. They might forget a teacher or something like that, but they typically will remember that camp counselor for sure. Um, let's go over a little bit of sort of how the level of aptitude for our staff. So we have an all adult team. We're a licensed accredited camp program. Part of that is that our counselors and directors are 18 and over. Everyone, this is not required, but we do it, is CPR and first aid certified. We put all of our staff through that. We renew their certifications. They have a yearly national background check as well that is clean. Most of them are education majors, teachers, coaches. Why? Because they want to be with kids for their career. They have this desire to make a difference in the lives of kids, and we just segue that into the summertime. They get to let their hair down and be more hands-on and just have fun with our kids, and it works out really, really well. They're all in a uniform. So our staff will have staff shirt on and staff shorts. You'll know exactly who they are when you pull up and you pick up. Once again, the ratios are low at 1 to 10. A lot of camps run ratios at like 1 to 20. We feel like we have a better opportunity at 1 to 10 to make a difference in the lives of kids, and that's why we do it. And most importantly, gosh, they all love campers. This is what they kind of live for in the summertime. They love to come back and be a part of camp and be a part of your child's life. And I think that's probably one of the more important reasons that our staff is so great. Anything to add about staff, Nada?
No, I think even with the leads, it's important to know that the ratio is true. The 1 to 10s, just like our explorers. And for that is safety one, but two, just to build better connections with them and friendships with our campers.
Yep, for sure.
Mhm.
Thank you. Um, I did carve out a little Q&A towards the end of this. I don't see any in the list right now. I don't think. Let me check any comments. No, I don't. So that's great. That means either we answered everybody's questions before they put it down, or you just don't have any. So like I mentioned before, we will post this onto the Facebook page. I know we had trouble getting on the Facebook page, but it's been on the YouTube channel streaming. We'll get it over to the Facebook page, and we'll also post it on the Leads web page too as well, so you have access to this. By all means, if you have any questions about the program, if you'd like to call your city's camps coordinator, like Nada in Houston or Molly Bent in Austin or Cheyenne or Ryan in Dallas, please feel free. They'll spend time with you. They'll talk about the camp program, answer your questions, and make you feel really comfortable about what it is we do. With that, Nada, thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. It's great having you
Yeah.
with us. And we do have a few more of these coming up in the future. And I want to note those before we sign off today. Um, the next one is going to be Explorers, and that's going to be March the 27th. So we'll do a similar thing that we did today, but we'll talk all about just Explorers, which is grades entering first grade through fifth grade. And then after that, we have Field Trips in KB Live. That's April the 17th. We'll dedicate our live stream to, how do we do field trips? Where are we going? KB Live is sort of like the field trip that we bring to camp, right? For our Discover program, right? Our Discoverers do not field trip, but we bring the field trip to them. We'll talk a little bit about that too as well. It's a very informative presentation, and I know one that a lot of parents have questions about. And then the last one, which we typically do in May, this one will be May 1st, is preparing for camp. So this is a great one if you've registered for camp. Maybe you've never been with Kidventure before. This is a great opportunity for you to learn how do you drop off? How do you pick up? What do they pack? What do they wear? How do we communicate? Sort of all the things you kind of need to know to prepare for coming to camp. And that is going to be May 1st. All of these are at noon. We schedule these at noon, hopefully so that you can not take too much time out of your day and do it over lunch or something like that. I hope that time works for everybody. With that, I appreciate it very much. Thank you so much for being with us today, Nada. Thank you. Have a great rest of your week.
All right. Bye, guys.
And we'll see everybody next time. Bye-bye, everyone.